10 years of hope, saving kids' lives together. This is why we show up. December 6th, 4 p.m. to midnight Central Time. The Geocache Talk Network goes live. 4 p.m. Scott Wade, Atlanta Braves. 5 p.m. Lego Master Tim Hutchings. Season 4. 6 p.m. Brian Roth, president and co-founder of geocaching.com. 7 p.m. Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, and Solomon Yee. Survivor Season 47. 8 p.m. The GTN team. 9 p.m. Doug McRae, Miss Pac-Man inventor. 10 p.m. Coins for Kids with Neil, Jason, and Patrick. Help us reach $15,000. Every dollar brings hope. You can donate at podcastofhope.com. At St. Jude, families never receive a bill. Join us. Live together. December 6th, 4 p.m. to midnight, Central Time. Together, we bring hope.
All right, here we go. We've got some people to thank, and I'm going to do that right now somehow. Here we go, as I can try to see. All right, big thanks to our new patrons, Trail Snail 51, Super Chuckles, and returning patron Caching Karma. And our featured patrons are that are in states that start with the letter W. They would include Gianna, Rhonda, Lori, Brett. The interesting thing about Brett is he's in Western Australia, still a W. Nick, Rochelle, Jason, and Christopher. Thanks to all our patrons for keeping this show and all our shows on the air. And let's bring in the crew right now. There they are.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Hey guys, Gary, you're kind of creeping me out, man. What's going on there?
Yeah. He's in witness protection.
I am
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Or is going to rob a bank.
Okay. Well,
so I need to tell you a real fast story. So hopefully all of y'all have seen the Christmas Story. Man, they dared the kid to put his tongue on the pole, and they said, "I'm going to dare you to do that." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it." And then they double dared him. I think the next step was they double dog dared him, and then they triple dog dared him. Very rare for somebody to be triple dog dared. Well, I was triple dog dared to do what I did. So after 30 years, I have done this.
whoa, Gary, what did you do? What did you do?
As I've said before, that if you get a really bad haircut, you can always wait for your hair to grow back. So
watch if it doesn't grow back.
Yeah, watch it not grow back. That's like the joke about the Seinfeld, where the guy had a bunch of bald spots, but he never knew it because he was completely bald. So when he tried to grow his hair back out, it's like, oh my God, I'm bald. Well, yeah, you've been bald. So,
Oh man. So Gary, you just opened this up to everybody, and happy Hodag, you never not to do a triple dog dare. So if you guys ever need anything from Gary, triple dog dare him. He's just opened that one up 100%.
Oh, I'll be thinking of a good one. How many of those do we get per year? Just one a year, or
I don't know. Good question, but boy, it is cold. Let me tell you, that little goatee I had. I mean, Jesse's got the full thing, and so John does too. But I think that they're what?
It's just making me laugh. I'm sorry.
I
swear, I feel like you're faking us all out, and you got one of those Instagram filters on that takes your beard off.
Yeah, it's AI. Gotta love all that AI can do, right? I mean, it's pretty amazing.
It is really getting scary, actually.
It really is. You're right. You guys have been doing crazy stuff with the AI and There's one of Johnny Pizza that we got to post that, man. That's a great one. You eat like half the pizza in 2 seconds.
I like to think I eat pizza a little quicker than that. Just saying.
Faster. Well, that was quick.
But
we could do a human versus AI race of John trying to eat pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, we're not going to say there's no spoiler time, but I think John is on to some really good idea of how he can create another cache type after the VR cache. So I think he's got an idea. So
good stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, John just is creating all these high tech new cache types. Maybe we can pitch him to Brian when he gets here next week.
Yeah.
Oh, you want maybe we should have a Shark Tank episode or Shark Tank segment to that with Brian.
That'd be awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
We're seeking.
Like the guy comes up, now hear me out. Here's what we're gonna do. And you just like pitch cache types to him.
Oh man, that would be awesome. That would make the day.
He would never come on the show again.
Yeah. Really. So we're going to do some twig this week in geocaching, but before we do that, I do have one other thing we want to talk about that really occurred really on the last few days. We want to explain it fully, and this little video I think will help spur on the discussion. So here we go.
This year, the Podcast of Hope giveaway just went level up. Donate and you could win an Arcade 1-Up Class of 81 Deluxe arcade machine for your home. Donated by the legend himself, Doug McRae, inventor of Miss Pac-Man. Anyone who gives $25 or more to Podcast of Hope between now and the end of Doug's Hour is automatically entered. U.S. residents only. Make a difference, win big, and support the kids of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Pretty amazing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But so during Doug's Hour, we will get, sign me up. I hear you. Well, you can be signed up. All you need to do is donate $25 you got to do it through Podcast of Hope. So we can't track the information if you don't give through Podcast of Hope. And again, we've talked about before the fact that we don't get any of the money. None of it ever comes to us.
Thank goodness.
It goes directly to St. Jude, but we do get the information so we can use it for giveaways and also for this particular giveaway. So if you give $25 or more, and especially if you give in $25 increments, each $25 increment will get you essentially a ticket into the possibility of a win. So we'll be tracking that from now. If you give right now to Podcast of Hope, you're entered to win, all the way up to basically halfway through. And we'll tell people on the show when Doug's with us that night, we're going to say, okay, we're stopping it at, the 30 of the hour with him. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go through the process of doing a random.org, and we'll pick a winner. We're actually going to pick 3 winners. So there'll be a first prize, a second prize, and a grand prize. So the first 2 prizes are going to be the arcades. Let me grab one real quick.
Yeah. Hey Gary, while you're doing that, I'm just gonna. I saw a few comments in the chat room.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, John. Yeah,
different live feeds. So StreamYard that we use for streaming, they did an update. In the update, it's called like multi-aspect ratio streaming. MARS is what they call it for the acronym. And if you go to our YouTube, you'll see a feed that's in portrait mode, so optimized for people with their phones if they want to view it in that way, or landscape mode as well too. So people can go and choose whatever one they want to view, what makes sense for them on that one.
So there's a way to switch it to landscape?
Yeah, correct. So if you go to our YouTube site on here, and I'm going to pop that in the chat right now for folks, they can go they'll see like one stream set up, and it has like a phone icon by, and that's the one in portrait mode, optimized for phones. And then if they go to the other one without that icon, that's the one in landscape mode. that'll be in widescreen format.
So people are having trouble. So maybe we'll get some more information on that because I know they're not able to see comments and stuff when we post them if they're in that portrait mode. So something brand new. We'll find out we'll make sure we find out how everybody can switch back and forth if they're having trouble with it.
Yeah, especially, I don't know, Trish, are you watching on your phone or on a?
She's on the phone. Laptop? It shows a little icon for her now.
She is? Okay. You could try the other one. There's two streams going, so you could try the other one, and maybe that one works better for you. I don't know.
That's weird that they would make it automatically go that way.
Yeah, you can pick one, and John set it up now with.
Okay, Quincy got his trip. Okay,
switched much better. So okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just the problem is most people are in portrait. I guess that's because, like, if you're in a vehicle or anything else, it's
Or you could just turn your phone and see if it'll flip it a little bit to the right.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I was on a phone, but landscape is better. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. If somebody's having a bunch of trouble with that, just shoot us an email so we can follow up and make sure that it's all right. You know, we'll find out from StreamYard exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah. This is better. Oh my God, Gary shaved. You're funny. Direwolf. Yeah, we got Cash the Line with us tonight. We'll have to talk about what he's going to be giving away. That's another huge. We got so many huge things going.
Yeah, that on YouTube it can get hard to do the chat as well.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we'll talk about cache hunters also in a moment, but so the three items we're going to give away with Doug, we're going to give away a first prize, a second prize, and a grand prize. So if you're entered, you could win one of those. The other prizes, which is amazing in itself, is you can get these little arcade Pac-Mans, Ms. Pac-Man games, and you sign each one of them. So you would have for your own a pretty cool collectible. So you could, display this, and when somebody says, "Oh, who signed it?" and you go, "Yeah, the guy that invented Ms. Pac-Man signed it for me."
That is awesome.
There's only a couple of these in the world. I mean, this is one of those collectibles that it's like getting the, an autograph of a celebrity, and get them to like sign whatever they've, what they can. So yeah, Hughes texted Dave, a mint inbox Doug signed Pac-Man. That's exactly right. That's what this is.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So we're gonna have two of those, and then the big one is the big arcade game. Not assembled. Sub-assembly is required, but still, it's not too bad. You put one together, right, Jesse? I think you said, or
no, I haven't. My brother does a bunch of them though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody told me about them putting it together, but I heard it's not bad. They have instructions. They give you all the stuff to do it, and it's not that difficult. You're not like going to be soldering wires and stuff to get this thing to work. I don't think.
No, it's like IKEA for video games, is what I've heard.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
But without the Swedish meatballs, one of the best parts of IKEA.
Yeah, you're right. That is a downer that it doesn't come with those Swedish meatballs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so very good. Those are the notes on that. Yeah, you need a certificate authentication. I don't think you really need that. Sorry there, buddy, but you might. We'll see. But Swedish pizza. So let's do a little twig this week in geocaching. Mine's pretty short. You guys had a lot, so let me do mine real quick. I had folks from Arkansas come here and do a bunch of caches, and I put cache maintenance too, because what's funny is if you ever have people come to your town and they want to go find your caches, they'll go, let's go to this cache. Let's go to this cache. So I took them to all what I consider all my favorite of my personal caches. But when you go there, and they find it, you go in your mind, you're like, check cache maintenance, check, it's been checked, it's good. And there was a couple of them that were like, well, the one I've got that's got the sundial, there was almost nothing left. So I've got to rebuild stage 1. I have the little pie plate, so I got to put that back together. I got to get a gnomon to put in there. So I can immediately, mark it, put it in disabled mode. But it was fun. I was pretty happy that most of the caches that were there were all in really good shape. And that's always a good thing to see. You know what I mean? To see like, whew, okay, that one's good. So I was going through all mine and doing cache maintenance and all that. So that was
do you log that when you do your cache maintenance?
I did on some of them. I did make a note that I had checked them. What do you call it? Owner review?
Or owner maintenance?
Owner maintenance.
Yeah, owner maintenance. I did that on a bunch of them. I need to do it probably on all the rest of them. So anyway, so there, yeah, it's good thinking. Good thinking, Jesse. And then the last part was I did go. One of our team members had a birthday, and she had a birthday party, so that was a lot of fun. So big happy birthday, Lost and Found 28. So that was a lot of fun. We played 42 questions wrong, which is fun. It's a game that I came up with, so I'm kind of proud of it. We did it in the one that I want to tell you about real fast about that game. So I basically I'm going to give you a statement, and you have to answer it. You have to answer the question incorrectly. And so it's tricky because your brain wants to answer correctly, but you're not supposed to. So it gets weird in that you're kind of trying to get through it. And so a lot of people have trouble with it. So they, but it's so much fun because it's pretty rapid fire. You got to go through it pretty quick. And you like yellow or black, what's the normal color for banana? And the answer is black, but your brain wants to say yellow. And so it gets to be harder as you go because you almost start to get more comfortable answering the questions. And when you get but you've got to really be on your toes, and you've got to be constantly answering incorrectly. It's a lot of fun because you think you've got it in your head what to do right, but it's a good party game. So
sounds like
what
fun.
About you guys? What was y'all's favorite things this week in geocaching?
You want me to go first because John's got a lot. So
Sure.
Yeah, you go first, Jesse.
I was still logging challenges, so I went and signed a bunch of challenges recently, so I'm still going through and logging those. I got some labs at Buc-ee's this week. That was not at Buc-ee's the last time I was there. Yeah.
Wow, the Promised Land?
Yeah, and got two kind of related to the night show. Got two EarthCaches published this week, and I'll talk about mine later in the show because they tie into something we're going to do.
Okay.
And then I don't have it published or even submitted yet, but I'm working on my CCE event. I've got a date picked out and a location I'm confirming. So I am going to get that done by the end of the year, although it's December 30th. So I had a whole extra day to spare, but
of course.
So I'm going to have that published, and I'm not going to lose my CCE event.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, see, I used mine too, so that was key. I used my CCE because I was like, I've got it. Let's use it. And it worked out perfect. The timing of it was perfect. So yeah.
John, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. And oh man, and big shout out to Dawn Lost and Found 28. She said she had an awesome fun game at her birthday party. So yeah, happy birthday again to Dawn on that one. Sounds like a great time. And oh man, and Katie Lynn is saying gotta love Buc-ee's on here too. Thank you for joining us, Katie. And I still got to make it to the Promised Land, guys, but I got to tell you about some pretty cool things for me. I think a lot of people do this, right? The first cache that you ever found, when it gets archived, you put a cache there, right? Or a lot of people do because it's like meaningful. So I've done that. I've done that in the past. But what I did this past week is, I don't know how many people do this. They celebrate their first DNF, and this was pretty big for me because it was in 2006 is when I first tried geocaching. And And bottom line, I was unsuccessful. I never found it, right, that day. And I actually did not try caching again for like 9 years after that, believe it or not. But the fact is, the spot opened up nearby where that first cache I ever looked for was. So I hit a cache there, and I called it my first attempt at geocaching. And I kind of told that story, and I don't know how many people celebrate that first DNF, but for me, it was like such a memorable experience. I'm like, I got to do it. So I'm putting in the chat a link to that puzzle that I made on that one, a 4.5, 1.5 puzzle, because I figured, if I had a little bit of a tricky experience, first geocaching at the same time, I probably should make a little tricky puzzle on that one.
Right.
So, on that one for audio listeners, it's GCBFNG2. So, if anybody wants to have fun, try to find that. I know I love looking at Certitude and seeing who's actually solved that. And I'm not giving any big hints out yet until people get it. But yeah, that was just such a cool thing to put it out there. But I did that one. I got an Adventure Lab published, guys, too. And I don't know if you guys remember, I've talked about, and Julie D, yeah, her first DNF was an LPC. She had 300 finds before she realized those.
Hey, those things lift.
Oh man, I know. Isn't that a killer? Isn't that a killer for sure? Yeah, on that one. But yeah, guys, one of the things I know I've talked in the past too is about the pizza drive-through that I go to. And I just got an Adventure Lab credit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make an Adventure Lab there. And I called it the Wonderful World of Drive-Throughs, because I figured, if people are going to go to the pizza drive-through, this gives them an opportunity to go through and actually do an Adventure Lab while they're waiting for their pizza on that one. So
yeah,
I figured that was fun. Never saw one like that before too. And on here too, and I'll talk a little bit more about them too, but I got 2 EarthCaches published as well. So Jesse and I were kind of even for the past time frame. So I got one,
Nice.
so the challenge I issued to myself, I don't know if you guys remember, is in the county where I grew up, Oneida County, New York, the last EarthCache was archived. So I'm happy to report that is no longer the case. That county now has an EarthCache.
Nice.
So I know. So I'm pretty happy from that. And I got that one out. And then I'm pretty happy about this one too. And I know I texted you guys a screenshot of my email, like when this came through. But believe it or not, guys, and this is 100% true. I sent a screenshot to Gary and Jesse on this one. Is I had an EarthCache published in what I think is record time, and
it's got
people. It's got to be, right. I mean, most people think like they submit an EarthCache and it takes a long time, and the one I submitted, I got the screenshot to prove it. 11 minutes from when I submitted it to publish. And then the reviewer actually published it. 11 minutes, guys. I mean, like, how cool is that?
Got to be a record.
How much did you pay for that?
Nothing, man.
Yeah. How many pieces did you send him? I heard ahead of time.
Oh, man.
Grease the wheels.
If I knew who the reviewer was, yeah, thank you, Don, for the congratulations there. Like, I definitely showed them love, because like the reviewer I have, the GeoWare, they've been so incredibly helpful, like in this whole process.
They're way faster. I haven't seen 13 minutes or whatever before, but
11 minutes,
11 minutes or whatever.
11 minutes, yeah.
But they are way faster than they used to be.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's because, and we haven't talked to them in a while, I wonder if that's because they're getting less submissions, or people are getting better at them, or,
First DC took 6 months.
Or there's a bunch more of them. 6 months.
My second
but,
was quick.
I wonder if they've got more reviewers now, or what, because they've gotten a lot faster recently.
It's pretty funny. Our favorite EarthCache reviewer, all things EarthCache, says, our EarthCache, not reviewer, EarthCache presenter,
EarthCache advocate, EarthCache
advocate. I like advocate.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. That's a good way to put it. He says, don't
expect it every time. No, you can let him slack and get like 15 minutes next time.
Well, I was just blown away.
Take some time for yourself.
I submitted it and I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get a question back, and that's totally cool. That's fine. And then I'm like, it's probably going to be like a week. And, when I just looked back at the computer and saw that, I was like, that is awesome. But, in the topic of tonight's show, I mean, I think that just really puts out there, like like, you know, it's just nobody should be scared of making Earth caches, you know?
No.
That's what they're telling you. It's like John put on an EarthCache, a great class. But speaking of, you could have on All Things EarthCache does great EarthCache classes.
Yeah.
I've been to one of his, and oh my God, perfect. It is perfect. So shout out for that. That'd be perfect. Okay. Perfect. Are we good to move? We good,
Yeah,
good to move on
let's
now?
go
Yep,
for it, man.
absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we thought about this a few while. This kind of happens sometimes where we start talking about show potentials, and this one sort of organically grew from what we were discussing, and it sort of then got to a point where like we need to do one soon. So we did. We were like, we've got to do an EarthCache show. So here we are. We're doing an EarthCache show. So, John, I think we got some of your notes to begin with. I've got a couple things to lace in there as we go. I'll let you start, and I've got a couple things I want to add, and then Jesse has some other great notes as well. So I think we're going to let you crank things up, John.
Yeah, sounds good. I really appreciate it because I know for Jesse and I, and big shout out to Jesse because I know when I kind of started to do Earth caches, I mean, Jesse was so helpful with a lot of things that he was sharing on that one. And
Me too.
I won't say too many nice things about Jesse, but
Let's not do that.
But for him, like, just a sense of we have so many Earth caches out there, we should get some more out there. And I know for me, I was inspired when we had Gary Lewis on the show, who made the first Earth cache, and
Right.
And Gary's sense on that one is that, Earth caches should not be difficult. They should not be difficult for people to do. It should be like a good experience. Nobody should have to have like a master's in geology to do them. Right. And, I know when we
answer them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when we had John Burgess on the show too, I think there's so many people that recognize right now, Earth caches are just such a good part of the game. And with Earth cache purchase that I've taken, there's a lot fewer Earth caches out there.
Yeah.
And I know I was surprised when I was looking again, like back in the county where I grew up, and there were none. So I love this idea to put it out there to people. But I mean, just the whole theme, and I know we're going to talk about this the whole show, is, don't be scared. It was one of those things, like, I know when I hit my first cache, somebody told me the process was hard, and I didn't hide a cache for years. And when I did, and it's funny I say that because with the Earth cache I put out, my first traditional I ever put out, it was like 15 minutes publishing too, no joke.
Dang it.
So I don't know, maybe I got some good cache submission mojo, guys. I don't know, but on this one, I think it's for people. People should not be afraid. Earth caches can be really fun.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give some tips, and I know Jesse has some as well too, and I'm sure we'll all chime in together.
Yeah.
But I know for at least me, I love the outdoors. And I think, one of those things for me, it's like, if we can go out and find an interesting location to share, just think about those interesting locations for people.
Right.
Because the ones I hit, even in Oneida County, I hit two, and I'll just kind of give like a brief run through. One of them was at this really cool gorge I remember visiting as a kid with some unique geological features.
Right.
And it was there where I just thought, like, this is such a cool place. It made me feel nostalgic too. I remember going there like years ago with family members. So when I was, in Oneida County, like scouting out Earth cache locations a while ago, I'm like, this is a perfect location, a cool location. You always went to, other people like going to, people like discovering. So for me, I thought, that was a really cool location to go to. Thinking of locations and just kind of starting there too. I know Direwolf had an interesting comment, in the geocaching Facebook group post where we posted, and he said, well, there's no unique geological features like here, but really, rocks and geology are everywhere. So I mean, used for like building construction, cemeteries, like everywhere. You don't have to think of this like incredibly different like thing. You can think of like a statue, memorial, historical location, but just like the interesting thing to share.
Cemeteries.
Yeah.
I'll mention real quick, and John will go back to yours too. But that's what Direwolf says. I'm lucky I get one per year. All we have here is corn. Well, what's interesting is that when I was the first two that I did was, and I asked again, Jesse, I don't get his head too big, but tell Christy I'm telling that Jesse's the EarthCache expert, man. Jesse helped me with really something I had never thought of, and he knew. He's like, hey, wherever you live, and really I think this is true, correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but I think anywhere in the world you live, if there's a telephone pole anywhere near you, it's probably not standing straight. It's got creep. So I did the creep because the pole is sideways, and there's ways you can do that. And I was like, because I tried, the county courthouse, and they're like, we're not doing that anymore. Or I was trying to do a really cool one for rock wall. There literally is a giant rock wall that was built around rock wall, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feature. And they're like, yeah. Somebody else, I think they said somebody else is attempting to do that one. So I was really frustrated with EarthCaches. So when Jesse said, hey, you can do one for creep, and I put one together, and ta-da, I had a good. And then the other one that I copied was because there's always cemeteries, just part of life is cemeteries. And so at least where I'm at least in Texas, we don't have any issues with EarthCaches being in cemeteries. So I'd found 3 different types of rocks, and I used that as far as for an EarthCache. So anyway, so those are my little snippets there for those. But I mean, you're right, Jesse. There's ways that you can even if you're surrounded by corn, there's probably a cemetery somewhere near you, and there's probably a pole, a telephone pole.
Oh, Jesse, you're muted. Oh. Can't hear you, man. Yeah.
Oh, got me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. I think this microphone goes dead after a while. Like, why is that a feature you would have in a microphone?
Yeah.
So I got to find out where the setting is on that. So, the telephone pole, we kind of joke about that one or whatever, but you can find, now obviously, like when I used to live in Colorado, you could throw a stick and there's, some geological formation there, right? But anywhere you go. But I think if you do live in a major urban area, or even in the middle of a cornfield in Kansas, there's always you might have to dig a little bit and kind of Google a little bit, but literally Google what kind of geology is around me, and you'll find stuff everywhere. And sometimes it has to be city stuff, but rocks and stones and everything else, all that count. Yeah. You have to be a little creative with, depending on where you are. Not everybody lives next to Mount Everest, right? Mm-hmm. But I think anybody anywhere can find an example of geology or, building stones or whatever, something that they can do. I think pretty much anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And I think if you're searching too, I know what helped me is search by your county name in geology. And a lot of times, like, you'll find some USGS research that's been done on that one.
Right.
But, think of even like historical sites. Cause I know for me, and I was kind of like shocked, like just like where I live, Fredonia, New York was actually the site of the first natural gas well in the country. And there was no EarthCache there.
That's cool.
And, and to me, like afterwards, like I got it published, and it's like, man, that seems so obvious, to do that.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good comments in the chat room. We'll have to get back to, I think, but so many cool comments. So
yeah, I think people that are into EarthCaches are into, like some people do them, some people don't do them, or whatever. But the people that do them have put a little bit of research into it, so they tend to know the rules pretty well, which that's a good thing when you're trying to put out quality caches, right?
Yeah. So we got one comment. Amanda Saville 9806. I butchered that. I know I did. It depends where you are in the world and permissions in your area. Cemetery caches are 100% allowed in Canada as long as you are showing something unique about the stones.
Yeah,
etc.
That makes sense.
And I know for me, like I just interject. Mine I had published earlier this week too. One of them was in a cemetery. And I kind of chose a historical angle. It was actually the tombstone of Grover Cleveland's parents, because Grover Cleveland grew up in the same small village that I did.
Right.
And fun fact, Grover Cleveland went by his middle name because he thought his real first name sounded funny, and his real first name was Stephen Cleveland. so he thought, hey, Grover sounds less funny. I should go by Grover. But just saying that, so if you're in New York, you know you can get one in the cemetery there for sure.
Yeah. So many good comments tonight. Sorry, we won't get to all, but I appreciate all the discussions and all things EarthCache. Our friend is really helping us help with some people. Helping Patty work it out. So that's awesome. We got people helping each other in the chat room, but that's all good. Okay. Okay. What else? Where are we going next?
Well, I think you alluded to it earlier, but I think it's kind of want to hit on it again. The purge is not, well, that's debatable whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? But we'll get into that. But the purge, it did take away a lot, and there's going to be more that it's going to continue to do that, right? So this is one of the only times where the cache numbers could possibly go down, because we lose more than which I don't think we will, but that doesn't normally happen on any other cache type, right? So why would that matter? Well, one of the things we haven't talked about, one of the things that's a stumbling block for people putting out one is instead of proximity issues, they have like uniqueness issues. So I think you can't have two of the same thing nearby each other because it's not far apart.
Right.
Well, some of those old ones are getting cleared out now, so that this is one of those rare times where it actually is going to be even easier to publish than before. Not because they're going to lower standards, but there may not be three, erosion ones down the street now. So now you've got an opportunity to do something new.
Yeah. And let's talk about the purge for a moment, just so people don't get the wrong understanding. It's the purge was not purging EarthCaches. The purge was purging EarthCaches who had inactive owners. So people who had not logged into geocaching.com in a while. So it wasn't like a purge, like, hey, let's get rid of EarthCaches. It's, having caches that were out there where there were not active owners responding to the questions that were being generated.
Okay.
Right.
So, at this point,
this wasn't like a going through and trying to like some sort of death with a sickle in its hand going.
No, Gary. No.
It was the same thing they're doing for all other cache types. This just happened to be EarthCache. They've done it for other caches before too. So
so EarthCaches are alive and well. But there's an opportunity because we're seeing fewer and fewer with them because of these purges.
Right.
We're not getting the EarthCache death going out going, all right, bring me your glacial erratic and let me kill it.
Yeah.
No, Gary, no.
Well, that's the one they wouldn't allow anymore. That was like the big one.
Well, that was an overuse of a certain type, right? Just like we talked about.
Right.
Well, we don't want 5 of those in the same county. They don't teach a unique lesson. And the thing is, you can, and we'll get to it too, but you can come up with a unique lesson different than others have been before.
You can.
You just got to do a little more, just like coming up with a gadget cache. It just takes a little more thought than throwing a pill bottle under a bush.
Can we also say, you know what? Your county already has plenty of LPCs. You're not allowed to add any more.
I know. Could you imagine how good caches would be? Sorry, sir. We have a Walmart here. You can't hide out any more LPCs.
Yeah. Sorry. We're plumb out of areas you can put a bison tube. We're out.
Because EarthCache requires a response to answers, part of the lesson. If the owner isn't active to verify legit finds, those caches will continue to die.
Yep.
Good. So that's not part of the game anymore. So we want new, good, healthy EarthCaches. I don't care if one's 5 years old and another one's brand new. I think it'll be good for the game. I hope they do it more and more and more, not just with EarthCaches, but you want a response when you have an EarthCache, so you don't need those legacy caches out there. So it's actually healthy for the game, and also a good chance to put a bunch of new ones out.
Yes,
so
absolutely. Jesse, Jeff's mentioning says, can we do an Earth I Go?
So the answer is no, and here's how I know from talking to reviewers in the past. I have emailed them about combining all different cache types. You know how it's like, if it's a container, it's just a traditional. If it's a container plus a stamp, it's a letterbox. If it's a container that's not there, if you combine them, like if you put a stamp in anything, it becomes a letterbox. It overrides everything. Where-I-Go is the same way. If you use Where-I-Go at all, no matter what other thing you're trying to combine it with, it's a Where-I-Go. So You can't do a Earth Where I Go because I've already tried. So,
Yeah.
hey, if it doesn't say you can't, you should try to do it. That's all I'm
try
saying.
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Why not?
I like Julie D saying that I'm always the one that I'll send the answers. Please stop, because the way people are like, if you're in a group, it depends on your group, but if you're driving along with 2 or 3 or 4, whatever your group is, and somebody goes, "There's an EarthCache right up here, like point 1," and if your driver's like, "I ain't stopping for no damn EarthCache," you're like, "No, I'll do it. I'll send the answers for everyone. It'll be okay. I promise." And heck, if somebody says that they're going to send the answers for me, I'll pull over, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like climbing a tree. Not everybody's going to climb that tree, right?
So true.
Climb the tree. Yeah. So, all right. Sorry, I didn't want to sidetrack us too hard. But it's interesting though that so many people. Well, John, you saw this where people are really just, they're like, "Oh no, I can't do it. I can't do it." It's like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean, when we did the poll, and we appreciate everybody doing the poll in our Geocache Talk Network community group. And if you're not part of the group, please join, because I mean, it's such a good group. But when we did that poll, I think it was like almost like a third of the people said, "No, I haven't hid one. I'm scared." And there was, I think, at least a couple of responses from people saying like, "Hey, I tried to submit one, it didn't work out, and it discouraged me." So, on to this one, I think, I mean, we just have to acknowledge, I mean, with HQ's revised stance with Earth caches, with Gary Lewis, his comments, I mean, they're no longer meant to be hard. They're meant to be a cache type anybody can do. Anybody can submit. Anybody can go there and log those. So, if people are saying like a few years ago, I tried this, this is a new time. Geocaching HQ has pivoted. We have an awesome community of people out there to help people. I mean, you can see in the chat room, like, I'm loving these comments from people helping each other's with potential EarthCache ideas on here.
Yes.
Yeah. And I found that definitely and I found it first in the Where I Go kind of builder community. And then now with the EC, anybody that's gone to the trouble, a lot of people can hide traditional caches, but a lot of people don't hide Where I Go's or Earth caches. And you find with them, they've put in the effort to learn how to do whatever they're doing, which other people don't. They're very happy usually to talk to somebody about it. Yes. Come, they've already drank the juice, so to speak, or drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah. They're like, yeah, come here, come on in. Let's drink some Kool-Aid together.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. And I found that with both of them. They're generally nice, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's nice, but yeah.
All Things EarthCache says they just need someone to help them along. Once you get that first under your belt, you're typically good. Now that's very true. I mean, I think that
there's proof of it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, she just started doing them recently, and I know she's talked to All Things EarthCache right up the show, as well as us too. And now she's getting ready to do her 4th already, and this is just this year.
That is awesome.
But once she kind of ripped that Band-Aid off, then she felt, and hers are not like simple ones either. She's putting some effort into them. So,
yeah, once she got past the cryptids, she kept wanting to talk about the swamp donkey that was out there, and geocaching.com and EarthCaches were like, Nicole, you can't be talking about the swamp donkey. You can't. I mean, Bigfoot, swamp donkeys, this is not available. So
no, it's funny.
It's
hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. We sent a photo of the swamp donkey. So what are some things though, John, and you can kind of lead us in that area, but you mentioned in the show notes about doing some research. What are some things that you feel like people need to do?
Yeah.
Kind of help with their process.
Well, and I think, I mean, you've emphasized a great point, and I mean, we've seen it as exemplified in our chat through like Nicole and I mean others. It's just like, and John's comment to All Things EarthCache. I mean, like once you get one underneath your belt, you feel a lot better, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's knowing what's out there. One of the techniques I would encourage people to do, and I know I did it, is, through geocaching.com, you can search by Earth caches. Go out there and search like difficulty 1 Earth caches and just see what questions people are asking, in those. Because again, once you see those, it makes you realize you don't have to do an extensive research. You don't have to do something like incredibly complex on here. You can see these requirements people are going up.
Right.
But I made a comment earlier too, Google your county's name in geology and see what comes up, because you'll find some incredibly cool things that come up in places that maybe you've never heard of.
Right.
That are incredibly unique to your area. And when you see those things like world's best example, or the best example in the United States, or stuff like this, or all of these with distinction, these should jump out at you and saying like, these should be Earth caches to share these with others.
Yeah.
So these are some things I think that people should do. And again, just looking at those unique locations as well too, that I think are at least some tips that I put out there. And I know, kind of like tied into that, I'll kind of jump down a little bit further in the notes too, at least the way I do it. And I'd like to hear about, Jesse's stance too.
Yeah.
Is I tend to think about it now that I've done, a number of Earth caches, is focusing on the observations first and thinking like, okay, if I'm there, what are the interesting things to observe? Because then that influences the lessons connecting to it. Where sometimes when I've tried to write Earth caches and I focus first on the lessons, then come back to the observations. I don't know. I just find it like so much smoother if I go to those observations first and then try to link that consistently together. Have you found the same thing, Jesse?
I have, and there's a lot of people in here know a lot. I'm going to hit a couple comments with that right now. So, guidelines say one observation analysis task, something that can only be done at GC. And that was also talked about a few other comments ago about how I want to find something they can't Google Earth or whatever else. So that all ties into that together.
You got to be careful, right? You got to be careful with those. All of us have been to an Earth cache where I'm not going to get out test strips, and I'm not going to do a bunch of other junk that you want me to do this stupid Earth cache. Or how far across is that mountain over there? You're like, I don't know. I can't guesstimate the size of the mountain over on the side of things. Like, give me an observation or help me to make an observation that makes sense and is interesting.
There's so many good comments going on. We can't keep up with them right now. But before it goes too far back, you mentioned with research, and we're about to talk about it again.
Right.
Use ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you want to use, an AI for it, but don't use it alone. Do not assume that it's correct. Because as you know, it will lie to you. It will make stuff up, just like it's a kid trying to give a good answer in class, right? It will make stuff up. Use it, and we can talk about how to use it, but don't rely on it. That's like picking the first Google search blindly. You would never do that. Just don't do that.
No.
Yeah. So use it just like you would use Wikipedia, but use it to find something else, right?
Yeah. Go do something like ChatGPT and ask it like who the first president is, and it gives you Bill Gates. You're like, ChatGPT, I think you're kind of drunk. You're not giving good answers. So you don't want to rely solely on what now it is getting better. Have y'all noticed that?
And it has many uses also for this topic right here that can really help guide you as well.
Yeah.
But don't trust any one source, blindly.
So, and I think a value in ChatGPT, right, is if you can ask it and if it can generate a source that you can then go to and verify.
Yes.
So if it presents this really cool geological paper that really kind of digs in more on what you're looking for, take that connection. But definitely verify. Don't just trust that information blindly.
Well, not only that, you can do many things with ChatGPT, right? But like somebody was saying, they use it to rewrite their own research. Well, they've got research, they've done everything else. Yeah, you're using it to improve what you're doing, but you're still checking everything with it, right? At all parts we talk about today, use it, but you don't just blindly use it and blindly trust it. And it's good to help do small tasks like that, like make this sound better, smarter, whatever. But don't trust it 100%.
Better, I think, too, for clarity, because you kind of know, at least for me, it's like I know how to work. I know what I'm thinking, but I need it to be worded in a more clear way. And a lot of times, ChatGPT will give you a better formatted paragraph for your information. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, Gary, I mean, you brought up and somebody else did too, rating these at, and I'm trying to remember the exact words Gary Lewis said, but, at a 7th grade reading level,
Seventh grade. That's right.
Yeah.
So if you're using ChatGPT and you're putting in what you've crafted and saying, can you please rewrite this at a 7th grade reading level?
Correct.
It may help to suggest some good changes that you want to incorporate.
Absolutely.
That may allow you to think about in a different way. So, using that, I think, is very powerful use of it too.
Right. And as just mentioned, graphics, things like that go in your description. It'll do that for you. But yeah, use it wisely. Use it to, that's what you want to do. Type something in, ask it. You can ask it to review it like it's a reviewer, right? Like what problems do you see with this? Things like that. Can somebody get all the answers they need from the information that's here plus on scene? It'll do those things for you really well. It's like having a buddy beta test real quick before you get to an actual person. That's kind of what you want to think of it as, maybe a beta tester.
Yeah.
You can ask it questions about what level is this read on? Does this sound like interesting? How can I make it more interesting? Or what's the exact thing we're trying to get? Well, like what I'll do with it is, what does this when I feed my EarthCache in, tell me about this lesson. How can I tweak it to make it better? Those little things. What exactly are we trying to get them to respond to us on this one? Anticipated responses. So it can be used, but you're responsible for whatever you put on that EarthCache page. So make sure you verify everything.
Make sure it's right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too, and this is something really, we can almost do a whole show on it someday, but we at least want to bring it up tonight, which is what do you do? Or like you were saying, Jesse, not only what you put in, but how do you sort of structure the EarthCache page?
Yeah,
I think is important, because I don't know about you guys, but I think I've seen good EarthCache pages, or cache pages, and I've seen some that are a bloody mess. So, I mean, what are some things that you guys would want to point out that you want to do when you're trying to structure your EarthCache page?
I think, I mean, and I mean, I don't know if Jesse's going to be humble on this one, but look at Jesse's EarthCache pages. I think Jesse's done a terrific job at chunking them out.
They're perfect.
Because let's face it, I mean, there's some EarthCaches you go to and it's so verbose, so wordy, no paragraphs, no white space. You look at it and you already feel overwhelmed, right?
It's like reading a book.
Yeah.
I don't want to read a book before I try to do my cache.
And I think those are the ones, like where you alluded to, Gary, it kind of gives EarthCaches a bad rap, on that one, or bad rap. So I don't know. I mean, I think, and Jesse can talk about more on detail, but I think the way that you chunk it and you break it down and you keep it simple just adds so much to it.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head too. And I've seen some. I looked when we were doing research for this show this week. I had my anti-EarthCacher, my in-home anti-EarthCacher help me. Because I always ask her, like, what comments would you make on this show? And she usually gives me a list. When it's this, she'll say, get rid of them or whatever. But it's like, no, tell me what you don't like. She goes, oh, okay, sit down. I got some for you. And one of the things she did mention was, we pulled one up. She was like, look at this. Because I'm always trying to defend EarthCaches, and she's always like, they're terrible. So she goes, look at this one. I pull it up. It's like 8 pages of text.
Oh, wow.
No.
There's one break in that whole 8 pages of text. It's all one. She's like, who's gonna read that? I'm like, okay, that is that's too much. Yeah, like Dyer said, 10 pages too long. We're not gonna do that. And that's a choice, right? Just like multis or anything else. You look at it and it's 8 pages. You're like, I don't want to have to sit down for 20 minutes and read this thing.
No.
And I think there's a few things like that too. But what else? That was one of the biggest ones. And then 18 questions.
No.
And and all this stuff, and you're like, no, I'm not trying to take a class,
right?
And
what is the most? Let's all agree. Let's all be in agreement tonight. The maximum amount of questions you should ask on an EarthCache is 3. That's it. No more.
Now that's the minimum amount.
Yeah. But I think that's a great way to start.
It should be 3 though, right? Like it should be proportionate to what you're asking them to do in the difficulty level, right? Like if you don't have it at a 1.5 difficulty and have 18 questions I've got to answer, that's just ridiculous.
No.
Yeah. Now, if I have a 2-day hike to the top of a mountain and I have a 5 difficulty, ask me however many questions you want because
Right.
I went to earn that thing, right? But
yeah, you bloody
don't give me 18
earned it.
questions on a 1.5 EarthCache. I would pass that up too. I'm not doing that. That's too much work.
Yeah, I know, and I'll just put it out there. The way I like to start is observation question, like kind of like a lesson question, and then photo question. I like the photos even though they're optional, for people to put on. But I mean, to me, those are the core starting point. Go to the location. What do you observe? What's the lesson? And the lesson can, be summarized usually in the text that you supply, in there.
And show them that. Put it to a little heading, right? Like, this is the lesson. Like, literally tell them whatever words you want to use, right? Like, this is the lesson part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Insane. Yeah, I know. I was kidding about the 3, but I really
no. I think 3 is your standard, and we even when they talked about the new guidelines, that's what they want is 3, right? Yeah. But sometimes you may have more, but I think it should be commensurate with the level of difficulty. Should be with the effort that you put out, right?
Right. No, you're exactly right. So, what is the latest? Let people know about pictures because I think this has come out. What did it?
You can require a picture or a proxy. Okay. A picture of you or a proxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you should have. My opinion is, and John may disagree, you should do that in every single EarthCache because it's almost impossible to stop people from Googling answers, right? If they really want to cheat hard enough. And you'll get these bogus logs and stuff because it's easy because there's no log to sign. So I don't think it happens tons, but the photo will pretty much cut 99% of that out. If somebody goes enough effort to like fake a photo, that's something totally different. It did go away for a while, but for the last several years, somebody said 2019, last several years, you can require them to do it, which I think, John, you may disagree, but I think you need to do that on every single one or you're just going to get bogus caches.
I actually agree. I actually agree on the photo, because I think it's a good way to confirm.
Yeah.
I think as an EarthCache, somebody was published in EarthCache and it was funny, right? Shout out to Tunderwolf. It was so funny. Like the one that I hid back in the county where I grew up, he found it. And then I get a message from him the other day and I live like 4 hours away. Right. And he's just like, hey, I'm coming to get Cache Odyssey New York. And I'm like, I got to meet this guy. Right. And I thanked him because in the one EarthCache I published, he provided such a cool picture of like his dogs. He has Tunderwolf and he has his pack. There, I just said, reading your log and seeing the picture that you provided on site, I said, made my day. I said, 100% made my day. And I said, if I get no other people to ever find that EarthCache, just that picture in the log that you sent made it worthwhile for me and so meaningful.
Right.
So I just really appreciate that so much. But yeah, I 100% agree on that picture requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good for that and just having the cool pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So I love getting those pictures in and people, sometimes you get the GPS thing up, you hand up or whatever, but a lot of times you get just people that look like they're having fun. And that's almost as good as a good log, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. And so I think this reminds us, you can require a photo, you can't require their face, which that's good. Yeah. Good point. All right. So Jesse, let's kind of go through some of yours that you wanted to, I know we kind of hit on a few as we've gone through John's, but what are some things you want to really highlight for the second half of the show here?
Not shockingly, I would advocate the use of AI as a tool as your friend, right? Yeah. Like I think, again, it goes without saying, but we'll say it anyway. Never trust AI or Google or anything to do your work for you, but know how to use them as a tool. And you can get your EarthCache. You can see what unique lessons going on. You can compare them to other ones in the area. If you have a saturated area and you think you have similar features, that's when you can bounce ideas off of it. Like you can feed in the other EarthCaches in the area and say, hey, I want to do something that's unique. Can you help me? I want to tweak my lesson. What other aspects of this may not be, especially if you have photos and everything else, right? Yeah. So it can definitely help you brainstorm ideas. If you feed information into it and feed pictures into it and that you took at the scene, it can help you really brainstorm.
Right.
Yes, this is what you're seeing, but there's other possible ideas, geological takes you can do on this. So that's where it can really help you come up with something unique, right? Like there's a reason why glacial erratics were too many of them, because everybody can do it. But geology is geology everywhere. You got to find a unique take on it. But I think that's where you use those tools to give yourself an idea how to do a unique take on something there's only so much geology, right? I mean, we're talking millions of cachers. So I think that's where it's valuable. I would advocate the use of it a lot for that. Also helping you organize your cache page. Like John mentioned earlier, it's good to have the questions up top so people know what they're getting into, right? You don't want to go through 10 pages to get it. Show where your lesson is. Show where, your questions, your geocaching, your lesson for whatever, your earth science lesson, and then, the rest of the information and your resources and everything else. But if you make it clear and easy, you break down that barrier for people that are just like you're afraid to publish one, people are afraid to do them, right? I think it helps break down that barrier. Have it rate it based on other caches in the area. Is this as good as the other earth caches? Is this better? How do I make it better? Help me improve this is one of the things that everybody types in there, right? So I would say it's a great time to publish earth caches, and it's, there's tools. 10 years ago, it was a lot harder. Now there's tools that can literally help you go all the way through it.
Yeah. I can't imagine the early days trying to do an earth cache without having the resources like at your fingertips. Can you imagine trying to, I'm sure people did it. People went to the library, pulled out books and tried to find books about, glacial erratics back in the day, and trying to come up with a question, and then reference the right, the right information. So, they still publish glacial erratics. That whole list, every one of those has something published in 2025, except river gauging. A river gauging station. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
God, there's thousands of the river gauging stations. So, well, that's true, Quincy. It was like going to college for the internet. You actually had to think. I mean, but there's, like Jesse said, though, with the tools that are available now, you can hit some areas that probably are not normally hit, because you can do more research at your fingertips than it used to be. Than
so much easier to do, to get it started now, to know which direction to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse, I want to bring up one you put on your list too that I really like, and I don't think we talked about yet. But one of your comments in the show note was, don't base it on a sign. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to be able to do that anyway by the guidelines, right? It's not supposed to be based on the sign. There's still tons of those out there, right? But here's the thing, that's lame. That is so lame. That's why I almost didn't do EarthCache at all in the beginning, because I don't want to go read a sign. That's just a virtual. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But they used to be able to do that, and a lot of them were like that. You're not supposed to do that now. But every once in a while you get somewhere and you see that somebody has done it, they just didn't tell the reviewer. It really, you're like, I don't want to read that sign and answer those questions. That's not EarthCache. I would say, so we talked about earlier, look at other EarthCaches in the area to see kind of what they're like. Be careful with that. Don't look at a 2002, you might want to look at modern ones, because they've been updated. You don't want to do the same thing. They've been improved over the years. Find out what's current regulations or whatever. It's just like looking at a traditional from years ago, and it's actually a puzzle. It's not even traditional by today's standards, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, and I appreciate that, because I know I did an EarthCache, and it was an older one where it was funny. It was like in a lake effect snowstorm, and it's like I'm going to location, and it's like, look at this like sign, and basically like I'm having to like scrape the sign off with my arm. Like it was almost like a scratch off like lottery ticket EarthCache to then find the answers on that one. But yeah, I think that's important to point out, because for some people, like those older ones, when those signs change or those signs go down, those EarthCaches can get archived too.
Yeah.
So a couple other things, Jesse, you brought up that I think are really, really good. And the show notes are available all our show notes are always available. If you go to the website, geocachetalk.com, you'll see a link for the show notes. So after the show's over, all of the show notes are out there. So one of the things you did mention a couple of things that are really, really good, but don't make it overly complicated for no reason. And I've seen those. It's like, I don't want this to sound wrong, but it's like, I'm at the EarthCache. Get to the point. Let's observe. Let's get the information. Let's go. I don't need around 7,000 years ago, this area was underwater, and at that point, the Earth started to form land around this area. Like, you know what? I don't need that. I want to know what we're doing. Here we are. Let's get it done. I guess that's maybe our world today. Everything you want instant. I don't necessarily need instant EarthCache, but I don't need the, once upon a time EarthCache.
Yeah, there's a balance, right? Like, you can tell that some people are really, really into geology sometimes, that are geocachers, and they put out a cache, and like, they can't dumb it down enough for people. They know so much about geology.
They know too much.
Like, you can't remember what 7th grade you would have understood about geology, but
Yes.
and they'll be like you said, I think I read that EarthCache when it started the history of time and came all the way to the present. I'm like, okay, so it's granite. Okay, that's all I need to know. Okay, let's move on, right? But
keep it on topic. Keep it on topic. We're gonna look at something. Here we are. We're here. We're looking at this. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do it. Good question.
Funny EarthCaches. I've never seen one.
But you, in one of your new ones, you added some fun to them.
Yeah. So one of the ones I published this week was one was I tried to get a little bit of a flair on it, and it was just a basic one. But the other one, it just so happens, I'm not going to get into what the geology of it is, but it's a big rock. Okay, it's geology, right?
Nice.
It's a big rock. But it just so happens when you look at the pictures of it, and you can look it up online. So I'm not going to say what it is right now, but it looks like it looks like the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter, like a lot. It has nothing to do with that, and it marks a grave of a famous poet, and it's something totally. It just happens to by coincidence. So I kind of did do a take on that and named it accordingly, and did like some. That's where I used ChatGPT. I said, hey, here's my photo of the site. Can you make this look like the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter? And it made up a cool little drawing for it or whatever. So tried to tie in a little bit of fun to the geology lesson. And I think there's no problem doing that. Like, I don't think you need to go really off topic, and funny would be subjective. So you might get called on that. But I think adding a little flair to it, just like you would a cache page, is perfectly okay. Like, I think you can do that, right, without totally getting away from the science lesson this one's supposed to be.
Right. No, that's good. Another good point I thought was great in that, and this is really key, and this really fits back into what we really, really hit on for Cache Odyssey. When that's remember handicap accessibility, urban or well-maintained trails. And it's like, so often, I mean, and Jesse or John, I don't know if you did this or not. I guess one of us could probably pop out there, but how many EarthCaches are available that are 1-1, that are true wheelchair accessible?
Yeah, and really terrain one, because I mean, difficulty could vary. I mean, although I think from Gary Lewis, he advised keeping it. I think it was below like a difficulty 3 or a 2.5.
Right. Which is weird, and that's a whole other conversation. But like, if they wanted to keep it below there, just make it to where you can't do it. Like, you're the guys that set the rules, so just say you can't submit one that's more than that. That was kind of a weird. I understand the point of it, but I hate when it's that gray. Like, maybe don't do that, but we're gonna let you do it anyway.
Yeah,
that was a weird one. I appreciated that what they're trying to do, but do like events, like they locked them down. You can only have a 1 difficulty event. Okay, so cap EarthCaches if you want it to be that way, because people aren't going to do that if you don't. That's going to cause confusion and everything else.
I think, Gary, what you're talking about is make Earth caches that are available for a lot of people. But I mean, that's a tricky part, right? I mean, I've learned through injuries I've had, it's like if something is listed as a terrain one, is it a true terrain one or not? You know, and that's the one. It's a bummer when you go out and it's not a true terrain one. So I mean, if that's the case, I would urge people to call that one out, you know, at least in their log or write a note or something like that.
But if you can, right. But if it's available and you really check it out, you need to try to do a terrain. If it really is a true terrain one, don't make it a 1.5. Do a terrain one. If you can make it a true terrain one, or let me rephrase, if it is actually a terrain one, please make it a terrain one, because there are so many people handicap accessible who they have to go on what you're presenting, and they're not, if they show up and they're going to try to do this cache and you did it as a 1.5, you know, they might try it, but then again, you know, you really got to give them, you know, you need to give them more information than just it's kind of a 1.5. No, it's like, so you and I, maybe that are not handicap accessible, we don't have to worry about that. They do. So
yeah. And I just wanted to call it Nicole's comment quick because I thought this was really cool for her. She said that was one of the goals for one of hers. She made a one terrain EarthCache wheelchair accessible for EarthCache Day.
I love that.
That's awesome. That is so cool to do.
You know, and not to get us too far off topic, but I think that's part of every finder's cache maintenance. If you go to a one terrain cache and it's obviously not, you should report that, right?
Yeah.
Just, I don't mean go in for archive. I mean, like, maybe send a message to the owner or leave a note on the page saying, you know, the information or whatever. But I think you should. That's just like if, you know, just anything. If that's cache maintenance, just like on our side or the finder side, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna start wrapping up. So I give it a. I've got. Let me start because mine's gonna not be necessarily about this. It's gonna be more about a reminder about Podcast to Hope.
There you go.
Podcast to Hope is this Saturday, the 6th. I know we're never on Saturdays. We are this coming Saturday, so we're 6 days away. December 6th, 4 p.m. to midnight. We have unbelievable guests. You need to be there for all of them. If you're not a baseball fan, you still want to be there for the Atlanta Braves vice president, because he's going to talk about some pretty wild stuff that's not really there's really not baseball related. It's more about technology. So there's going to be some great technology discussions about how people buy a hot dog at a ball game nowadays. And that's fascinating to me, the things that they can do. And so again, every hour this year for the 10th anniversary is amazing. We still have the coins. You know, we have the stained glass, this big gigantor coin. And we've also got the Lego. Remember, I said there'd be a clue. Of course, we have a Lego Master. Yep, John's got one as well, the Lego Master one.
And these just turned out so awesome. I mean, shout out to Don Treadway for creating these. I mean, just so cool coins.
They are. And then the other thing to remember is that if you're going to be giving from now until when Doug is concluded, we're concluding with Doug, we're going to give a cutoff point. But if you purchase the $100 coin or the $50 coin, that is considered part of that $25 gift to St. Jude. So you will be entered in for that. You'll be given if you buy the $100 coin, you've got then four tickets to win the big arcade item. And if you buy this one, of course, it's 2 tickets. So not only are you getting more tickets to be entered, you're given a great amount of, again, we give the money. We're not taking any profit off of these coins. So that's just a reminder. So, we would encourage you to purchase what's left of the ones we have, for those coins, and you get a coin, you get a bunch of entries for possible winners, and and again, the money is going to an incredible cause. So my encouragement to everyone is buy one of the coins, because I think that's the really, and you're getting a lot out of it. Plus, you're getting an automatic win. You get the coin, which is an amazing coin. So it's both amazing coins. So, all right, over to you guys. What are some things that you want to mention tonight on your final thoughts about EarthCache?
I'll jump in on a few. So
Okay, cool.
I think number one, I mean, look at Jesse's EarthCaches. Jesse's EarthCaches are just such good, incredible examples for how they're chunked out, for how they're organized, making it easy to read. And I've definitely incorporated his template into mine. So, definitely look at those. Realize EarthCaches aren't hard to make. I mean, all these caches, you have such a wonderful community. I mean, I've just enjoyed so much seeing the comments in this chat room, people helping each other out with creating EarthCaches and developing ideas. The reviewers are incredibly helpful. I know for me, my reviewer, I've gotten such good, quick comments from them that have been so incredibly helpful for helping to get EarthCaches out the doors, that it's been incredible. So the reviewers are there to help you too on here. So I mean, you got a great community to help. You got a lot of great reviewers on here too. But, think of those ideas, because EarthCaches, offer a great opportunity for a community. And I know a comment online was just, EarthCaches, it's nice to have a cache that doesn't require physical maintenance, to go out there to do too.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool thing. But think of those cool, very interesting things to share. And again, I mean, it could be some interesting large geological feature. It could be stones on a building. It could be like a statue. It could be something in a cemetery, that's interesting. So think of those cool, interesting things to share. And if you grew up in an area where people are like, man, when I come home, I love to see this thing, or I've always thought about it. If there's not an EarthCache there, think about putting one of those there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, those are awesome locations to share, but yeah, everybody should definitely think about making one. They're not that hard. And I could talk for a long time, but again, I'm so thankful for Jesse, and this is the rare opportunity that I will say many nice things about him and his work during the show. So don't expect it all the time, man. Just saying it. But,
hey, you're setting the standard. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
One gauntlet a week would be okay. Yeah.
Well, real quick before Jesse goes, I forgot one more thing I want to do. Of course, Jeff from Cache the Line, he has created some Podcasts of Hope cards to go in his big Cache Hunters game. So if you would like to purchase those, go to Jeff will give us the website to go to for that. So Jeff, if you would put that in the chat room, and I'll put it up on the screen for everyone. But he has done, we've had some cool stuff from Jeff in the past. I don't know if you guys remember, it was years ago when he did some whittling, and we did that. That was really a very unique thing. But he's adding to his game. He's adding Podcast of Hope to his game, and so that's a pretty amazing thing. And it'll be out there. Be out there. It's just another way for us to give to. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. So there's the link. It'll be also in the show notes. I'll add that to the show notes. But clhq.net/shop, and all the proceeds are being donated to Podcast Hope. So thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you doing that, and that's awesome. People can buy those cards, and again, we are going to be really close. We'll see, but I feel pretty good about our community, and that we are going to get past $100,000 for St. Jude. Can you imagine, Jesse,
that's incredible.
Back in the day when we raised $1,000, like, whew, we made 1,000. Now we're like, hey, let's do 15,000 this year, whatever. It's like, oh, that's a big goal.
Well, hey, geocachers are generous people, and they give to good causes. So it's good that we can be a part of that. So for sure,
it is everything we can give. And we talked about it, years ago, and I've said it before, but we came up. We weren't sure what charity to do, and Jesse and of course Christy said we need to do St. Jude, and then after that it was like, well, that's a sealed deal. We're gonna do that every year.
Well, once you start giving St. Jude, you can't stop.
No,
such a great organization.
Yeah.
No, you gotta keep going, and so we're until we, and they've made a lot of progress over the years. The survival rate or the for folks is in the U.S. is used to be 20%. It's up to at least 80% now, but until we don't have any more childhood cancer, until then, we're going to keep giving. And, that is our commitment is to help, giving children a chance. So,
yeah.
All right, Jesse, what are some of what comes to mind when you start thinking about that?
Well, it's just like, we're talking about the cards that are going to be donated. I think that really kind of, I love that. One, the card games are cool and everything else, but I love when anybody adds something more to the geocaching universe, books, and we've done books and stuff like that, but other people have done music and they've done things like that. So he's adding a card game. You've done card games too. So he's adding something to geocache universe. And I think really that's the same thing, the same reason as why I like EarthCaches is I couldn't imagine, if every cache was just traditionals, it wouldn't be as good of a game as it is now, right? Like there's other things to do.
Sure.
And I think it's the same way with it's more. Like if you only found traditionals, a game would be one thing, but now that you have everything else, but I don't think you really experience all that unless you're also contributing to it too, right? Like find everything, but go ahead and put everything out too. And it makes the game that much more complete and fun and well-rounded and kind of fills out the whole game for you. And I know that I really enjoyed, as soon as I started spreading out to other cache types early on when I was publishing, I enjoyed it way more than just putting a traditional cache out there because it just felt like I was more into the game.
Yeah.
And I would say now is a good time to publish. You've got modern tools. They just purged, so they definitely want to get good EarthCaches out there. Reviewers would love to have more caches out there. Right. And again, the research is so much quicker than it used to be. And there's a community. There's Facebook groups and there's everything else. Like, don't let this be the part of the game that you're afraid to touch. Yeah. It may be one of your most favorite parts of the game. Just get over that hump and reach out and say, hey, I need help doing this. I guarantee you'll have people help you out. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind.
We're here, all things EarthCache, and there's so many other people that are out there. Let's get some more EarthCaches out there. Let's get some good ones out there. But we need more. We need more to do that, and we need more because we need people's. We've said before, we need more people to be. They'll look at something differently than you will. So. We need each other. It's kind of the old cliche, but we need more people to come along and go that aren't thinking like other people and go, hey, I think that would be an EarthCache. And you point to you like, I never thought of that. Never thought of that. Yeah. None of these people next to me are thinking of it. My group is like, I didn't even think about that. So we need more people in the sport who bring a different perspective. We need people to come along and do that. And so, and like you said, John, in your list, so many people are saying they're afraid to do them, and we just can't do that. We need to have people.
Yeah, it just makes a richer game. The more it's still traditional. We're still like 90% or something, right? Like it's not really that high, but it seems like it's 90% of everything that's out there in the area. And the more we beef up the other types, whether it's this or something else, it makes the game just richer, fuller, more fun.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when we can offer those to communities that maybe don't have those cache types.
Right.
Because even the question, on my mind, I got a few comments from people on EarthCaches, and they said I like to find them, and when a new one comes out, I get so excited.
Yeah.
But
Right.
then I think, do I have to save this for International EarthCache?
Yeah. I
And
do
it-
that down here.
And it's like, how crazy is that when a new cache type comes out that we have to say to ourselves, should I not find this for months because I'm going to need this like
Yeah, you're gonna need it.
like down the road? It's like we should be putting more out, you know?
You shouldn't have to need it.
Yeah.
There should be more out there, you know.
But everybody that hasn't done one that's listening, that needs to be your goal for 2026.
Yeah.
Get your first one out there.
Absolutely.
You'll do more. If you do your first one, you'll do more. But
Yeah.
make that a good goal for 2026. Add something different to your community.
Yeah.
That'll be on our show when we do that. So that'll be big. We're going to do a 2026 goals show soon.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Absolutely. And hey guys, before we adjourn, I do want to talk about Puzzle Talk that we have coming up on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
So Puzzle Talk we have coming up on Tuesday. Charles and Tom are back. And man,
Woo.
people loved their last show, and a lot of great views on that one. So I mean, you got to tip your hat to Charles and Tom because they prepared a show about train puzzles. And how did that show go off the rails? Geocaching.com went down right before their show.
Yeah.
So they found all
Yeah,
these cool
it did.
train puzzles that they couldn't show. So this
Off the
Tuesday,
rails. That was good.
yeah, at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, they're going to show all those cool train puzzles that they weren't able to show before. So they have a bunch of fun ones. So you're going to want to make sure you tune in.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. Well, we will see everyone on Puzzle Talk, and then after that, we're going to see you next Saturday for 7 straight hours. Are you ready, Jesse? Don't drink anything during the day because we're going to go 7 straight.
Hey, look, it's still 1 o'clock in the morning for me. So, yeah, we'll see. I have to sleep in the whole next day.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Perfect. Thank you, guys. And we'll see everybody for Puzzle Talk. Good night, everybody.
Okay, take care, everybody.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.